a night. Now, if you think you have what it takes to become America's Next MasterChef, please go to www.fox.com/MasterChef for more details. Good luck.
I'm the next Master Chef.
One potato, two potato.
Eyewitness News at 6:30. Weeknights on Fox 11. West Virginia's source for news. Eyewitness News starts right now.
This affects people now, and it will affect many people in the future.
The healthcare battle heating up again in D.C. West Virginians divided over the issue as well. Could a new bill be changing the landscape of healthcare in America?
Suspects using stolen cars and trucks as vehicles for even more crime. The arrests made just tonight, and the brazen way police say they're taking these vehicles. Now at 10, 2 homes destroyed, and now arson investigation is underway in Huntington tonight following a massive fire we first brought you as breaking news at 6.
Eyewitness News reporter Sean Delancey has been all over this tonight. He's live in Huntington right now with much more on who might have started this fire and how neighbors there are reacting. Sean?
Hey, Rick, the Huntington Fire Department says that 2 squatters were living inside of this home and actually had to jump out of the windows to escape the flames that eventually ran over to this house, destroying both homes. 2 homes engulfed in fire, the roofs collapsing under the weight of hundreds of gallons of water as a few dozen neighbors watched from across the street. Some felt they knew the cause long before the embers cooled.
It's usually like a homeless person goes in, they're responsible.
Was it squatters? Was it arson? Who knows?
That's the question investigators are tackling now. Fire Chief Jan Rader says 2 squatters were living in this abandoned home and had to jump out the windows to escape.
It's actually pretty much been something that's gone on my whole career. It is what it is.
Rader says the fire spread quickly to the second home and was too dangerous to fight from the inside, so they pulled out and focused on saving the next home down. That wasn't safe for crews either. With so many power lines overhead, the city had to kill power to a large area, stressing volunteer fire reserves to the max.
It causes a tremendous problem because, you know, everybody on this scene was at risk for injury or death.
Locals say the abandoned homes in the neighborhood need demolished professionally before fires crop up and put more people in danger.
As long as they keep the abandoned houses to where someone can get in them, it's always going to happen. It's inevitable.
Not a lot of information is being released right now about those 2 squatters or what charges they may face. If you have any information that could help out, call police. Live in Huntington, Sean Delancey, Eyewitness News.
Law enforcement in Kanawha County and really in a lot of surrounding counties as well, dealing with more and more car thefts.
Eyewitness News anchor Jessica Guay tells us how these thefts can lead to more crimes and about the most recent cases that have left authorities concerned. Jessica?
Callie, Kanawha County deputies and Charleston police officers say they're noticing a spike in car thefts. Some believe it may be because of the increase in heroin and drug use. Authorities continue to do their best to find those suspects, but they need the community's help too.
Just gets the paperwork started.
Authorities in Kanawha County spending more time in court for the same crime.
You've been charged with a felony.
Car theft.
Possession of stolen vehicle, grand larceny, transferring, receiving stolen goods.
Kanawha County deputies say Raymond Casto stole a truck from Highway Safety in Dunbar on Monday, then broke into several places to steal stuff. Casto is from Sissonville and admitted to deputies Wednesday that he took the truck and that he broke into Fisher Memorial Church in Jackson County and stole electronics valued at more than $1,000. It's a common occurrence that's upsetting to the pastor.
A lot of people are looking for drugs or alcohol or whatever it might be, and you know, it's a shame. It's depressing on a human nature level to see that people are like that. But then again, as a church, it makes you a little bit more motivated to realize there's so much more work that has to be done.
With more incidents like this happening, deputies want community members to stay alert.
Just never know. When you see something that's out of place, note why it's out of place and keep track of those things.
The Charleston Police Department also dealing with the same problem.
Ms. McCoy, you've been charged with felony transferring, receiving stolen vehicle.
The most recent, Taylor McCoy from Clendenin, arrested after police say she stole a Hummer. The victim says the keys were taken from inside her house.
Somebody came in the house and took the keys off of the counter. Unreal. This is just blowing my mind. She's lucky. If I'd have seen her, I'd have shot her.
Also seen a rise in home burglaries, and in some of those home burglaries, car keys are being stolen. And that's how they're getting into these vehicles.
Police Chief Steve Cooper says from 2014 to 2016, the number of stolen vehicles more than doubled. And just in the last 30 days, there have been 40.
This time of year, you know, property crimes are up. Theft is up in general. A lot of it is connected, you know, to the rise in heroin use and drug addiction.
Chief Cooper says it's important to take steps so you don't become a victim. Don't leave valuables, especially your keys, in your vehicle, and lock your doors. If you notice your car has been stolen, call 911 right away so authorities can quickly work to find the car and hopefully the person who stole it. Jessica Guay, Eyewitness News.
Stunning news tonight out of Puerto Rico. The entire island is without power, 100%, and the return of service nowhere in sight. There are estimates now that the island of Puerto Rico in totality will be without electricity from anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Hurricane Maria hitting the island's infrastructure hard as it hammered the island today. The storm so far responsible for at least 9 deaths, dumping a foot of rain in some places and causing widespread flooding, damaging countless buildings with winds that at one point were in excess of 155 miles an hour. At least 12,000 people still in shelters tonight, with officials saying the island will likely be changed forever. Puerto Rico's governor now asking President Trump to declare the island a disaster zone.
Even though Hurricane Maria is now a Category 2 hurricane, it was a Category 5 when it slammed into the island of Dominica today. This is video of all the devastation left behind. The storm toppled buildings and really laid waste to entire communities there. Officials saying much of the island suffered total destruction, with at least 7 people on that island killed in the storm.
Well, it's a pretty mild day around here. We're going to see things heating up, but as we move out towards the tropics, and we'll take a look at what's going on exactly with Maria right now. As you mentioned, it is down to Category 2, leaving San Juan and Puerto Rico in its wake. It's a big storm and a small island, cause a lot of problems there. By Thursday afternoon, it'll be back up to Category 3. By tomorrow afternoon, we're talking about. Saturday, it's still a 3, moving up the coastline, paralleling the coast by Sunday, and it looks like now it's starting to make a track away from the U.S. We'll see if it keeps that path going. I'll take a look at our weather, what's going on around here. We've got some really warm conditions coming this way, and I'll have that for you in just a few more minutes.
New at 10, West Virginians speaking out about their concerns on how a new health care bill working its way through the Congress could affect our state.
After months of failing to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, the Graham-Cassidy bill is gaining steam in the Senate. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Kaylee Gunderson with the latest.
Rick Kelly, I talked to professionals and retirees who weighed the pros and cons of what they understand that this bill will do. But right now they say there are far more cons than when it comes to the working class and the majority of the state's population. The Affordable Care Act is something Marjorie Clarkson says made health care possible for many West Virginians.
I think that it's changed the country as a whole to have the act in place tremendously. And in this state in particular, because there are so many people who couldn't afford insurance or who were not employed, sometimes because they'd been injured.
Now she feels uncertainty with the Graham-Cassidy bill on the table. President of West Virginians for Affordable Health Care, Perry Bryant, says thousands of people most likely feel the same.
Not knowing whether their coverage that they've gained is going to continue.
Bryant says if the Graham-Cassidy bill passes, it will fundamentally change the Affordable Care Act in ways that would hurt the 180,000 West Virginians on Medicaid and the 25,000 who receive tax credits.
Over time, it would eliminate all of the subsidies for the people going into the marketplace, both subsidies to help with their premiums, but also with their deductibles and co-pays. It would also end the Medicaid expansion.
Senior policy analyst Sean O'Leary says it will affect each state differently by offering them block grants.
The idea is that they would, by converting Medicaid into a block grant, that the state would have more flexibility to do more things. But we're receiving, when you take in, the number is $2 billion away from the state, how much flexibility do we have?
Which he says will only have a negative impact.
When you take that amount of money away from the state, the options are reduce coverage, reduce benefits, and provide a lower quality of health care.
This affects people now, and it will affect many people in the future.
Republicans can pass the health care bill with a 51-vote majority, but after the end of the month, they will need 60 votes to then come from the Democrats. Kaylee Gunderson, Eyewitness News.
Also new at 10, a major announcement for people on the job hunt in Ironton. Mayor Katrina Keith leading an announcement today that a new hotel is going to be built there in the Gateway Center District, representing a $16 million investment in the city. Developer Mike Holtz says the construction will employ about 200 people temporarily, and then once complete, more than 30 full-time jobs will be available. The mayor says the hotel could help expand business in the Gateway District.
Makes a huge impact in the city of Ironton, economic development-wise, tourism-wise, can really change the shape and the face of Ironton, Ohio.
Ralph Klein with Lawrence County Economic Development says the project is still pending. They still have to go through some red tape, some grant applications, private funding, and environmental approval. But if that all checks out, construction is set to begin at the start of next year.
A big crowd of job seekers turned out today for a career fair at the Clay Center in Charleston. The marketing and sales company N3 accepting resumes today from people looking to join the firm as it starts operations at the West Virginia Regional Technology Park in South Charleston. N3's vice president of operations says the company partners with tech enterprises like Microsoft. It is contracted to help companies market and sell their products. N3 has already hired 10 people. They plan to hire 290 more. They're looking for workers with at least a 4-year degree, but a company rep says employees will be trained for their specific tasks.
There are degrees in the business disciplines that will certainly be beneficial, but we have a confidence in ourselves as well to train any young candidate that's excited to learn and grow, that we can bring them on board and be successful.
Boggs says calls will start going out to prospective workers in the next several days. Today's career fair was co-sponsored by the state's senior Senator Joe Manchin. He has been a supporter of keeping the technological park open and ready for business. There is progress tonight in the cleanup there at Capitol High School.
The school had to be closed for the week because of air issues. Mold was found in about a third of the classrooms there. Cleanup crews have been using powerful blowers, vacuum cleaners, and hospital disinfectants to get rid of it and to clean things up. The exact cause and source of the mold still not known, but the man in charge of the cleanup says mold like this is typically caused by a combination of heating and air conditioning problems that lead to moisture and dirt. The nearly 30-year-old school's concrete structure makes it a good host for mold, or makes it a poor host for mold, I should say, on the outside, but what's inside the school is a different story.
But this is one of the hot spots, and it's just because some of the older periodicals, and like I said, this is where you had some of the periodicals that they got rid of. So we're in here. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here that we've got to touch and we've got to clean, and all of it will get cleaned.
Plans call for the cleanup results by Friday to be in and tested, and if everything checks out, they'll reopen the school on Monday. The exact cost of all of this still not known.
Our Wendy's Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by the Marshall Sports Medicine Institute, will feature the Herbert Hoover Huskies at Sissonville to take on the Indians. Our coverage begins at 7:30. You can catch it live on the Stadium Network, or you can also watch it streaming live on WCHSTV.com. And be sure to send us those pictures in of the games wherever you are this Friday. Send them to burst.com/WCHSTV, and we will try to show them off here. Next on Fox, a race against time in Mexico. Rescuers desperately trying to get to a little girl buried under a pile of rubble after that massive earthquake. A look at the effort and the latest numbers as the death toll continues to rise.
And it seems like these days everyone's getting hacked. Identity numbers and accounts are getting leaked. We saw what's happening with Equifax now, a major credit bureau. What can you do to protect your identity, and why college students are even more at risk? This is Eyewitness News, West Virginia's source for news.
She found the perfect parking spot this morning. She found the perfect spot to park her sign this morning. There's a McDonald's for every morning.
For a limited time, enjoy the new Chicken McGriddle sandwich for $2.
The body is an amazing, complex machine of interconnected parts working together to keep us moving. But like any machine, parts can get broken or damaged. The orthopedic experts at CAMC have advanced training in the latest, most effective treatments for any body in need of repair. So whether you tore it, strained it, or broke it, we can fix it because you still have a lot of good miles ahead of you.
What will it be that keeps them all guessing, puts a pep in your step when it's time to teach these guys a few lessons? What will new bring out in you? Fresh deals every day. New styles now arriving monthly at Goodies and Peebles.
Level up with the brand new Nissan Rogue Sport with automatic emergency braking that could stop for you. Intelligent all-wheel drive and around view monitor. Wow. Take on today the brand new Nissan Rogue Sport, part of the Rogue family, starting at just $21,420, or for a limited time, get a low $159 per month lease.
She found the perfect parking spot this morning. She found the perfect spot to park her sign this morning. There's a McDonald's for every morning.
For a limited time, enjoy the new Chicken McGriddle sandwich for $2.
Storm Team Weather and Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Dutch Miller Automotive Group.
As we move towards fall, Dutch Miller Jeep remains the #1 Jeep dealer in the entire state of West Virginia. And we want to keep our momentum going, so we finish #1 for the year. That means friends and family pricing for everyone and the largest selection of new Jeeps in our dealership's history.
For a limited time during the Jeep celebration, friends and family pricing for everyone means you can get a Compass Latitude 4x4 starting at just $159 a month.
Get pre-approved now at DutchMillerJeep.com.
One of the world's largest cities continues to be in ruins. An update tonight on the aftermath of that massive earthquake near Mexico City yesterday. Officials say tonight that the death toll is approaching 250. The 7.1 quake leveled or damaged thousands of buildings around Mexico City. So far, more than 50 people have been rescued from underneath rubble as they continue to search for survivors.
And tonight, crews are working to rescue a little girl they believe is caught under a mound of rubble. She is trapped in the remains of a school where 21 other children and 4 adults were killed when the building collapsed following that earthquake. Officials say at least 30 people are still missing from that school. So far, they've been able to talk with the little girl. They've given her food and water, but with so much debris on top of her, it is now a race against time to get her out.
And not a bad day today. We saw temperatures up in the 80s again. Things are starting to heat up around here. We're seeing a couple of showers tonight. They're very widely scattered. We're going to see things clearing out tomorrow gradually, and then the sun comes back, and we're in for a hot weekend. And I'm talking about 90-degree temperatures Friday to Sunday, and even beyond that. Our satellite radar view: a few showers still kicking up over parts of southern Ohio and over the mountains to the eastern part of West Virginia. We're going to zoom in on Scioto County into Lawrence County in southern Ohio, and we're seeing the precipitation rate there about 2/3 of an inch an hour at the heaviest locations, but it's not covering much of an area. Now we're zipping on over towards the Summersville area in Nicholas County. Rainfall coming down a scant 0.04 of an inch an hour, so just a little bit of a sprinkle in that area. Tropical storm Jose. Tropical storm, this has virtually not moved for about the past 3 days, and it's going to continue to just do that. Look at this. It's by Thursday, tomorrow night, it's going to be basically right in place, and it's going to start to slowly slide back over towards the East Coast, but not moving far from where it is right now, and it's just weakening, which is good. All right, Hurricane Maria now down to a Category 2 after it went over Puerto Rico, really weakened, but it's going to continue in this track up to the north and northwest, strengthening to a Category 3 by tomorrow. And then as we go into Saturday, it's going to be a Category 3 still, making its way paralleling the U.S. coastline. So that's good news. Then it'll weaken to a 2. And then it'll become a 1 by Monday, and it's still way away from the coastline. Right now, the track it's taking might make it follow somewhere around like Jose's path, but it's still too far away to really tell. But fortunately, not looking to make landfall on the United States. states, so that's good news. All right, this cold front is fizzling out. I think we're going to be dry all day tomorrow, and then Friday we're going to start getting hot. We're going to see temperatures back up in the 90-degree range by Friday and through the weekend. For tonight, 65, mostly cloudy, still some scattered showers, very widely scattered. Tomorrow, 86 morning fog, then partly cloudy skies. And for the weekend, look at this, all 3 days right up around 90, and all 3 days nice and dry. And I'll be coming back. I'll take you through the rest of the 7-day. That's coming up in just a few more minutes.
An Ohio teacher is in serious trouble tonight, accused of faking her husband's death.
And it doesn't stop there. She also lied about having cancer. Here's Michelle Newell with the report.
Her students called her Mrs. Gill, but as you can see, this isn't her classroom.
Indicted for theft in office, for forgery, and for tampering with documents.
Earlier this year, Westerville school leaders became suspicious of Gill.
The teacher actually had forged documents and had said that she actually was sick with cancer.
Police say Gill used paid leave, mostly donated by her colleagues. According to these police documents, Gill claimed she needed time off for cancer treatment. Not long after that, police say Gill used more paid leave, claiming the cancer had returned.
They contacted a school resource officer. That school resource officer contacted our investigations unit.
During the investigation, detectives noticed Gill tried to pull something similar in 2013.
The teacher had falsely reported that her husband had passed away to get shared leave from employees.
129. That's how many days police say Gill used of paid leave.
The total employee benefit, counting 2013 and this year, comes out to around $52,000.
Police say Gill claimed her husband was sick with brain cancer. Not long after that, police say Gill claimed her husband died and was cremated at this funeral home. Police say Gill even had a death certificate.
The bad part of the situation is that you had fellow employees that cared enough to donate their leave because they thought this person's spouse had passed away.
But it doesn't stop there. Police say she was getting another check from another school.
In 2013, where she worked part-time for Columbus City Schools.
Police say Gill forged some of the recommendation letters. They also found she forged documents from doctors claiming she had cancer and needed surgery.
She had resigned from the school district this year.
Move over, fanny packs. These dad buds are making the internet go wild. Where you can get one? We have a look at the fashion statements next.
Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Cabell Huntington Hospital, your partners for life.
There are times when less can mean so much more, and a place where technology and remarkably talented surgeons are paving the way for complex surgeries to be performed less invasively through incredibly small incisions, all to give patients better outcomes and a fresh, faster start at resuming an active life. That time and place are here. The Institute for Minimally Invasive Surgery at Cabell Huntington Hospital, where small incisions are the best decision.
Celebrate performance and luxury in a brand new Lexus at the end of summer sales event, exclusively at the all-new Moses Lexus in St. Albans. With the 2017 Lexus NX Turbo, now just $299 per month. The 2017 Lexus RX 350, now just $399 per month. And the Lexus GX 460, now just $429 per month. Don't miss your opportunity for unprecedented savings. Hurry to the all-new Moses Lexus in St. Albans today.
2 months ago, Senator Capito tried to take away our health care. Now partisan politicians are at it again with a new repeal bill with the same devastating impact for West Virginia families. It will gut Medicaid, hurting seniors and the disabled, cut treatment for opioid abuse, and slash funding for rural hospitals, forcing closures across the state. Senator Capito, here's your chance to do the right thing. Vote no on health care repeal.
At State Equipment, see the new Kubota BX1880 18-horsepower diesel tractor with 54-inch cut. 0 down, 0% for 72 months, all for only $150 per month. Kubota performance and versatility at its best. The Kubota L2501 DT combines robust performance and user-friendly features in one easy-to-operate compact tractor. 0 down, 0% for 72 months for only $251.39 per month, including Kubota front loader. Try one out today at State Equipment.
When you're pain-free, you can live free.
At SOMC, our physical medicine and rehabilitation associates can help you live free from chronic pain and free from worry, too. That's because we can provide a wide variety of pain management treatments, including epidurals, nerve blocks, and spinal stimulation, so you don't have to worry about living on pain medication. Innovative Pain Solutions from SOMC. Very good things are happening here.
Job Creators Network is a proud sponsor of Bottom Line with Boris.
Last year, nearly a third of reported identity theft involved credit cards, and college students can be especially vulnerable. Eyewitness News anchor Jennifer McAndrews has important tips on keeping financial information safe on campus in tonight's Consumer Report.
Nadine Schieffer uses her credit and debit cards to purchase just about everything, like meals, books, and entertainment. She and her mom sometimes worry about criminals stealing Nadine's identity and racking up bills in her name.
I know that it has happened to people that I know. If it's happened to them, why can't it happen to me?
You have to go through a long process trying to fix all the problems that this can bring.
Nadine knows not to share sensitive information like passwords, credit card numbers, and her social security number unless absolutely necessary. But Consumer Report says there are other ways critical information can leak out.
Criminals love public Wi-Fi because it may not be secure and potentially giving those criminals access to your computer. For things like shopping or banking, it's better to use private Wi-Fi that you access with a password.
Consider using your phone's data connection for sensitive transactions. That's also safer than public Wi-Fi for banking or shopping.
Now, while students can't do much about that, they can take steps to limit the damage from data breaches, whether on campus or elsewhere.
Change passwords and check bank statements and credit cards for unauthorized charges. Also check with the credit reporting companies like TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax for unexplained debt. If anyone has tried to open up credit in the student's name, inform the Bureau that the attempt was fraudulent.
If you think your identity has been stolen, consider also putting a temporary freeze on your credit. That's done through the 3 credit reporting agencies.
This drink is pretty much the opposite of the pumpkin spice latte. It's not a real Irish coffee, but it's the next best thing.
Is it, though? Is it?
I don't know. They say it is. Starbucks introducing their new whiskey-flavored coffee. There's no alcohol in it. It's actually made by barrel aging the coffee beans and then roasting them.
But not as ridiculous as this story, Callie.
Well, take a look, Rick. This could be your next purchase. I really want to see you in one of these. The new Dad Bod fanny pack. I mean, it's ridiculous because it looks so real. It's made to look like a real pot belly.
Is that one with hair on it in the bottom right? There you go.
The London designer who makes it says he wants a dad bod, but he's worried about the health risks, so he designed these. It's not for sale just yet, but his preview video is certainly taking the internet by storm. And hey, you know, you can have the dad bod and you can like put your beers and stuff in there, so it's multi-purposed.
I'm speechless.
You can work on your dad bod while you're carrying, you know, I don't know. I think it's pretty funny. Mother of 2 young children says a breakthrough technology has allowed her to hear in a whole new way.
As Liz Bonus reports tonight, it's because of a new device that can communicate with a smartphone.
Is the most amazing thing in the entire world to go from absolutely silence to being able to hear your kids.
When Jess Taves first lost the hearing in her left ear due to brain tumor surgery, she got a cochlear implant. It is an electronic device that replaces the function of the damage in her inner ear.
The very first words that I heard was, I love you, Mommy.
In fact, this is video taken by her husband of that moment.
I love you. I love you, too.
A few years later, when the same condition took the hearing in her other ear, she got another device implanted. It's called an ABI, an auditory brain stem implant.
So basically bypassing the cochlea and stimulating her brain stem directly.
This week, she may be the first in the country to take both of these to the next level. She's using something her kids call the coolest thing ever.
It is the coolest thing in the whole world.
It is actually the Nucleus 7.
So the Nucleus 7 is a sound processor. So this actually sits behind the patient's ear and processes the incoming sounds, but also will stream to a wireless device like an iPhone, Bluetooth, smart TV, that sort of thing.
The Nucleus 7 sound processor is the world's first and only made-for-iPhone cochlear implant sound processor.
Thursday, I got the Nucleus 7 activated.
When activated, while this is happening on the computer and we don't hear it, Jess is actually hearing this through the processor. It allows Jess to do many of the things in real time she could not do until now.
So you have not been able to do this before now, huh?
No, actually this is the first time I have ever FaceTimed with the N7.
So what does this mean to you?
It's so cool. Like, I can't wait to call my kids and call my family to be able to see them and hear them at the same time. It's pretty exciting.
Awesome stuff there. Well, still to come here on Eyewitness News, a mom and a stepdad charged with murder, accused of killing their 3-year-old little boy. Tonight, their fate is in the hands of a jury. The closing arguments straight ahead.
And after more than 150 years, elk are back roaming home in West Virginia. How they're adjusting to life in the Mountain State.
West Virginia Wildlife on Eyewitness News is brought to you by the West Virginia DNR.
Come to West Virginia's National Hunting and Fishing Day celebration. It's a unique mix of hunting and fishing vendors, seminars, displays, and an outdoor youth challenge featuring fishing, archery, and shooting. Sample expertly prepared wild game. Enjoy world-class shooting exhibitions. Meet Neil James from Animal Planet TV, and much more. Bring the whole family and celebrate our wildlife heritage. September 23rd and 24th at Stonewall Resort State Park.
This is Ford Truck Month. And time to imagine what you can do in a 2017 Ford F-150. With best-in-class payload and gas mileage. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand.
Sir, nice truck, huh?
Whoa.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Now during Truck Month, get an F-150 with up to $10,000 in total savings. That's right, up to 10 grand. Hurry to your local Ford store now.
Are you two ever getting married? And if so, where will we all live? Have you thought about that?
Next Big Bang. Tomorrow at 7:30 on Fox 11.
Get ready for this week's matchup. Eyewitness Sports brings you the Herbert Hoover Huskies taking on the Sissonville Indians. Wendy's Friday Night Rivals. Watch each week as the area's high schools battle for victory. Friday at 7:30 on Stadium. Wendy's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Marshall Sports Medicine Institute.
We have new information tonight on a stabbing in Kanawha County that sent one man to the hospital. Deputies telling us today that the victim was actually stabbed by his daughter during a family argument. The victim was in a car in Rand when he and a friend hailed down some neighbors and told them he had been shot. But when deputies found him on Clemson Avenue, they found out he had in fact been stabbed. Deputies say the victim's daughter has a mental illness and has not been charged with any crimes. In Huntington, a murder trial wrapping up today.
The fate of a couple accused of killing a little boy now in the hands of the jury. They should begin deliberations as soon as they get back in tomorrow morning. Mariah Jones and Aaron Miles are the mother and stepfather, respectively, of Jaden Jones. Both face first-degree murder in the case that began back in the summer of 2016. Attorneys for both argued the state has no proof that the toddler's injuries that led to his death were caused by their clients. Jones's attorney says her client admitted to hitting the child, but says Miles was the main abuser and that he also abused Mariah. Miles admitted to spanking the child, but his attorney told the jury he never left bruises on his body and that Miles had no motive to purposely hurt the boy.
He gets no monetary benefit, pecuniary benefit, any benefit whatsoever by the death of somebody who obviously he sat on here and cried and told you how much he loved. He had nicknames for him. He treated him like his own.
The state reminded the jury that first responders found bruises all over Jaden's body on the scene and that the medical examiner said the cause of death was likely a laceration to the intestines caused by some type of injury. The attorneys were saying that regardless of who was more responsible for the abuse, neither parent tried to stop it. Again, the jury should begin deliberating tomorrow morning.
In Mingo County, a judge is delaying the trial for one of two men charged in the deadly shooting of a former coal executive. Mingo County Circuit Court Judge Mickey Thompson granting a motion from the attorney for Anthony Arriaga asking for the delay. Arriaga faces a murder charge in the May 2016 shooting death of former coal executive Ben Hatfield. Hatfield was killed at a Mingo County cemetery when he was visiting his wife's grave.
A cloud of suspicion continues to hover over 3 Putnam County deputies over allegations of falsifying their timesheets, basically double dipping. Dave Moy is the attorney for one of those deputies, Billy Seans. He's one of 3 in question right now, but he says his client did nothing wrong. The issue involves traffic control for a church after Sunday services. The church paid those deputies to help get cars out of the services, but they were also on the county's dime, according to the prosecutor. Moy says his client filled out timesheets correctly, checked in and out with dispatch, but didn't put those times on the private timesheet for the church. So he says this is all just a procedural thing. At most, Moy says it was just a mistake.
But there are also supervisors that those timesheets go through and is ultimately signed off by the chief deputy, who should have caught those, if you will, long before this ever became an issue.
So far, no deputy has been charged with any crime. The prosecutor did issue a notice to the Putnam County Defense Bar, which means defense attorneys can question the credibility of those 3 deputies in court. Moy says that notice won't ruin their careers, but it definitely taints them. Meanwhile, Sheriff Steve DeWeese is calling this a personnel issue and cannot further comment as the investigation continues.
What started as walking the streets of Huntington is now centered around a cup of coffee. Marshall students enjoying their chance to talk with the mayor at Marshall University. The 4th annual Coffee with the Mayor was held at the Student Center today. It gives Huntington Mayor Steve Williams a chance to connect with students and interact with them on campus. Williams hopes to also send the message that they can stay in the city after graduation.
It's a great opportunity for Mayor Steve Williams to come to interact with our students, to just kind of be informal, to walk around, to get to know them a little bit, to hear their concerns. It kind of just levels out everything. It shows really the commitment that Marshall and Huntington have together.
The next session is scheduled for October 18th.
Well, we got a few clouds around, a few showers here and there, but for the most part, we are dry tonight, and we're looking for a warm-up as we make our way over the next few days. We're going to see temperatures up around 90 degrees by the time we get into close to the weekend. Tomorrow we'll be up in the mid-80s. And hi, as we look at our satellite and radar view, I just thought I'd join you now. We've got some showers over parts of southern Ohio and also over the higher elevations of West Virginia. Just very hit and miss shower activity. Most areas staying dry and most folks in for the night, so not a big deal right now anyway. Hey, let's check out the Jackson County Apple Fest tomorrow. It's going to be pretty warm. We'll be dry, 85 starting out down to 74, 85 in the afternoon to 74 if you're going in the evening hours. Pretty comfortable early on in the day. Our futurecast, long-range futurecast, well, it shows these showers still around. We've got those. And now we're looking for it to start out tomorrow with some fog and low clouds. So that could slow you down a little bit. Keep that in mind. Your morning commute might have some low visibility. Thursday, we're going to be dry. I don't see any showers. This pops up a couple of showers. It likes to do that, especially over the mountains. Can't say it won't happen, but I think we should be mostly dry for Thursday. And again, on Friday, we're looking for plenty of sunshine on Friday. It's going to be hot. Friday, we'll be up around 90, and then we should be at the 90-degree mark on Saturday and again on Sunday. We should have plenty of sunshine to go around. Now, the thing is, it's not going to be that late, that very early autumn dry kind of heat. It's going to be, we're looking at dew points in the 60s, so it's not going to be oppressive, but it is going to be a bit humid as we make our way through these hot days coming up ahead. Our temperature forecast for tonight, we're dropping into the 60s. Now, this model likes to keep us a few degrees below normal, I think, below what we're actually going to hit during the day. Let's take that up to the mid-80s tomorrow, and then for Friday, we'll be in the 60s, and we'll probably be in in the upper 80s on Friday. So you can add about 5 degrees to those high temperatures. Tonight, 65, mostly cloudy. We still have some scattered showers around. They don't want to go away. But again, most folks are in for the night, so not too much of a nuisance. Tomorrow, 86. That's almost 10 degrees above normal after that cool start to the month. We're catching up. Morning fog, could be dense in areas. Keep that in mind. Partly cloudy in the afternoon, winds out of the northeast at 5 miles an hour. And here's that extended forecast. 86 tomorrow, then 89 on Friday, and that is, of course, the calendar start to your summer season. 4:02 in the afternoon, 90 on Saturday, Sunday, 91 Monday, and close to that on Tuesday, 82, and dry on Wednesday. I'll be coming back, and I'll take a look at some of our local communities. That's coming up in just a few more minutes.
From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis. 2 more arrests this morning following the London train bombing last week. Now 5 are in custody after the first 2 men in Wales were taken into custody. 30 people were hurt when a device went off in a bucket. It never fully exploded. No one was killed, but some were burned and others were hurt during the rush to get off that train and leave the station. The United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense says a military strike interrupted ISIS holding a public execution in Syria in the spring. Video of the strike was just released. Syrian civilians were allegedly being held at gunpoint, forced to watch an execution when the airstrike happened. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis.
President Trump made his first address to the United Nations General Assembly yesterday. During that speech to world leaders, he encouraged all nations to work together to protect their sovereignty.
Our chief political analyst, Boris Epstein, a former Trump campaign senior advisor and White House official, provides his commentary on the president's speech.
America first. We've talked about it before. It is a very catchy phrase. Most importantly, President Trump continues to prove that there is some real substance and action behind the slogan. The president did so again this week when he spoke to the United Nations General Assembly for the first time. While this is a long-standing tradition for U.S. presidents, Donald Trump's tone was starkly different than that of his predecessors. President Trump pulled no punches. The president directly called out North Korea and Iran for their actions in destabilizing their regions and the world. The key word from the speech, sovereignty. President Trump emphasized that maintaining sovereignty, independence, is the correct path for the U.S. and for all countries around the world.
Our respect for sovereignty is also a call for action. All people deserve a government that cares for their safety, their interests, and their well-being, including their prosperity.
For us, this means that while the Trump administration will continue to be a leader and partner around the world, it will also chart its own course for the benefit of the American people. That is a promise President Trump campaigned on and is now delivering upon. The bottom line is this. In the past, in speeches to the UN and otherwise, we have seen our leaders tread lightly on key issues. President Trump did no such thing. That is exactly the kind of leadership we need as our country faces serious threats all over the globe.
A car hydroplanes and ends up almost 6 feet under, where it came to a rest and the damage it caused along the way. Next.
Eyewitness News, brought to you by Mardi Gras Casino and Resort.
The Honda Perfect Accord sales event is your chance to get an incredible deal on the Accord, which has been named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list a record-breaking 31 times. To celebrate, we have amazing offers on the Honda Accord, which has a 5-star overall vehicle score safety rating. The Honda Accord is also the best-selling car in its class. Race in to the Honda Perfect Accord sales event and get a great deal on the Accord today at your Honda dealer.
Are you looking for an alternative to injections or surgery to lift the skin for a more youthful look? This is Dr. Samia Turner from Turner Medical and Almost Heaven Spa. We are the first in the area to offer Ultherapy, the only FDA-approved treatment to lift the skin. I invite you to come in for a complimentary consultation and find out how Ultherapy can work for you. With more than 10 years' experience, I can answer your questions on your journey to more beautiful skin.
The following segment is sponsored by the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources.
West Virginia mornings are hard to beat. This is especially true in September, when a sea of fog usually blankets our valleys below, and an explosion of bright color can be seen in the eastern sky. On this former mountaintop removal site in Logan County, there's another new reason to get up early this time of the year. After more than 150 years, elk are back home in West Virginia.
This is the time of year that the bulls have regrown their antlers, and they've rubbed off the velvet now a little quicker than what most whitetail deer do. We're into their breeding season, September and October, and this is when the bulls are bugling. Number one, it's to attract the cows. It lets that cow know, hey, I'm over here. It allows other bulls to know, hey, I'm over here and this is my territory.
Kelly says the elk brought in from western Kentucky last year are in good shape, and even some calves have been born right here on West Virginia soil.
So they're doing well. We were at a population of about 22. They're healthy.
Most of these elk have radio collars on them. That way, Kelly can see how they are moving through our West Virginia hills. And more elk are coming, too.
We came to an agreement basically with the state of Arizona to trap and transport elk from Arizona to West Virginia. They've agreed to give us this year up to 60 elk.
The hope, which Kelly fully expects, is for this population to grow in the coming years. Perhaps large enough for a limited hunt several years down the road. Before that, though, it's about getting more elk here.
We want them to be able to get here and see them. So we're going to establish some access points, some observation points, maybe some viewing decks.
With West Virginia Wildlife, I'm Brandon Stover.
Well, it's not unusual for a car to run into a ditch, but this car ended up not only on its hood, but almost 6 feet under. It's not the monster truck gravedigger, just a car that hydroplaned into an Indiana cemetery, ran over several headstones, messed up some grave sites, causing thousands of dollars in damage, but the driver was not hurt in that crash.
All right, we've got some clouds around, a few showers scattered around the area, but really not much to get too excited about, and things should be winding down as we make our way through tonight. Our live Doppler radar shows nothing happening right now. We are pretty much dry. There's a few isolated showers around. We're going to take a look at what's going on in southern Ohio for tomorrow, though. And boy, look at this. So we're looking at some partly cloudy skies, winds out of the northeast, and temperatures up in the mid-80s. So we'll have some nice sunshine coming in, and we'll see the temperature even go up a bit after that. And again, we're talking getting some 90s around here as we make our way through the weekend, and I'll tell you more about that when I come back with one final check of your forecast, and I'll have that up in just a few minutes.
Hi there, great to have you with us. Well, as Jim just said, starting to feel like the dog days of August instead of fall, though Jim didn't say it exactly that way. But regardless, many teams are gearing up for Game 5 of their respective seasons as high school football 2017 rolls along. A rivalry showdown will take place Friday night at Joe Sawyer's Field in Sissonville as the homestanding Indians square off with the Huskies of Herbert Hoover. Sissonville started the season with 3 straight wins. Those wins got the Indians into a tie for 5th when the first set of high school football ratings was released by the West Virginia Secondary School Activities Commission last week, and it set them up for a big showdown last Friday against fellow number 5 Mingo Central. But the defending state champs on the road last Friday and taking on those Indians in their home field, and they get the win in decisive fashion. So it will be Sissonville looking to rebound against a Cardinal Conference rival Friday night in Hoover.
Obviously, it was a tough loss for our guys. You know, the good thing is, just like high school kids, they're resilient. You know, these guys have come out and worked really hard, worked on correcting mistakes that we made last week. Blocking and tackling were the 2 biggest things that we saw, and a couple alignment issues. And, you know, preparing for the Huskies is a little bit different because they're a beer option team, and we need to be ready to defend that. And so there's been a lot of mental work to get ready for that.
We'd like to be 4-0, obviously, everybody would, but we had a tough loss Friday at Mingo, but, you know, 3-1, you got to be satisfied.
All right, and our Wendy's Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by the Marshall Sports Medicine Institute, will feature the Huskies and the Indians. Our coverage begins at 7:30. Catch it live on the Stadium Network or on our website, WCHSTV.com, also with the digital antenna 11.2. Be with us Friday night for the Week 5 edition of Friday Night Football Extra, presented by the Thornhill Auto Group. Join Josh Lewis, Kenny Bass, and me as we bring you action from another Friday night of exciting high school football. It all gets going at 11:10 on WCHS TV8. Don't miss Friday Night Football Extra, presented by the Thornhill Auto Group. Next up in sports, Mountaineer head football coach Dana Holgerson discusses a couple of key offensive players in the West Virginia attack as they get close to heading off to Kansas for Game 4 of the season. Stay with us. Eyewitness Sports continues in a moment.
I'm Dr. Jared Chapman. Here at the SPA at Living Well Medical Center, we specialize in non-surgical aesthetic procedures. There's a big difference in doing things and doing things well. Our goal is to do our very best for every client every day. This fits with our promise to provide excellent service in a relaxed environment. Visit our website or give us a call. We would love to talk with you. The SPA at Living Well Medical Center, here to help you live well and look good.
Say hi to Arby's classic roast beef piled high on a fluffy bun. Hi, roast beef and fluffy bun. Who's your friend with the cheesy hat? Now you can get both of these sandwich pals for just $5. Arby's classic roast beef and classic beef and cheddar, 2 for $5. Arby's, we have the meats.
Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by St. Mary's Medical Center.
These doctors at St. Mary's Regional Heart Institute bring calm and experience to a cardiac emergency, so excellent in their life-saving procedures that Medicare has ranked them in the top 1% in the nation for helping seniors survive a heart attack. Patients know them for their care and compassion, and they've helped bring national attention to the heart and vascular program at St. Mary's. This is our chance to say thank you for giving so many patients a second chance at life. When it's serious, it's St. Mary's.
The Mountaineer football team continues working on that game plan for the first Big 12 Conference game of the season. West Virginia will take on the Kansas Jayhawks on Saturday in Lawrence, Kansas. It's a noon kickoff for West Virginia. WVU has won back-to-back blowouts over East Carolina and Delaware State since a heartbreaking season-opening defeat at Virginia Tech. Many bright spots so far this season for WVU. On the offensive side, Coach Holgerson is really pleased with the play of running back Elijah Wellman, a product of Spring Valley High School.
His job's to block people, so he's kind of a sixth O lineman up there. Played good. I mean, he thumped some people pretty good. We rely on him a lot for inspiration and lead blocking and chopping people down and helping in pass protection, and he's doing a really good job of that.
And number 28's been around for a while. Meanwhile, Will Greer continues to shine for the Mountaineers since that game in Landover against Virginia Tech. And Coach Holgerson was asked how he's won over the team in such a short amount of time. And the Mountaineer head coach says it's rather simple.
A lot of intelligence, a lot of football intelligence. But that starting quarterback gene where people gravitate towards them, knows when to pick people up, knows when to kind of yell at a guy, can sit in front of him in a meeting room and discuss what's happening, on the screen. And guys say, yeah, that guy knows what he's talking about. I probably had to listen to him. He's got the ball in his hands. So he just has that.
Now, a year ago, Marshall's football team had an open date the first week of the season. It's a little different this time around as the Thundering Herd will be enjoying 3 games into the contest. This season, the Herd will be away from game action, sitting at 2-1. The Thundering Herd will be trying to get its 3rd win of the season a week from Saturday when they go up against the Cincinnati Bearcats. Marshall will also be gunning for a 3rd win over an opponent from Ohio. Getting to this stage of the season, the Herd is focused on themselves and not the Bearcats, but excited about the opportunity to get a little bit of rest.
Camp starting early like it has, to be honest. When we get ready to go play, we're right almost at our 9-week period, halfway through the season right now as far as weeks are concerned, because you come in early and there's about 9 weeks from now, and of course 9 straight weeks finishing up, so it is about the halfway point as far as that goes. So, you know, and then they have been practicing, and so I think it comes at a good time. Number one, I think we can get Obi and Hames and, you know, Naquan and get all those guys back, should be healthy and ready to go for Cincinnati. So hopefully that Cincinnati week will be as healthy as we've been all year.
All right, and don't forget, Saturday's always busy. We have 1st and 10. We get you ready for the college football Saturday. Plus, look back on the Friday night scene of high school football. 1st and 10 each Saturday morning at 11:30 on WCHS TV 8. And be with us Saturdays as well at 9:30 new time on WVAH TV for Marshall football today with Doc Holliday, presented by First State Bank. Again, Saturday mornings at 9:30. We visit with the head coach of the Herd. That's sports here at 10 o'clock.
Here we go. Name something that keeps you from strangling your husband.
It's personality, your family, the death penalty.
Only on Fox 11.
This fall,
I am not giving the city over to Penguin.
Gotham moves to Thursday.
There is time for masks, and there is a time for Bruce Wayne. It's dangerous. You are engaging villains.
I feel more alive than I've ever felt before.
Gotham.
Thursday at 8 on Fox 11.
Level up with the brand new Nissan Rogue Sport with automatic emergency braking that could stop for you, intelligent all-wheel drive, and around-view monitor. Wow. Take on today the brand new Nissan Rogue Sport, part of the Rogue family, starting at just $21,420, or for a limited time, get a low $159 per month lease.
Storm Team Weather and Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Dutch Miller Automotive Group.
No matter how bad your circumstances are, with friends and family pricing, you'll get the best deal right up front.
I was rear-ended in my last car deal, and my wallet was pretty dinged up. So I called the firm of Dutch, Miller, and Kia, and they got me the deal I deserved.
For a limited time, get a free 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on select brand new 2016 model Kias.
Call Dutch Miller and Kia today.
Here's how things are shaping up for Thursday for the kids. It's going to be a little foggy in the morning, but still pretty warm, 66. 85, getting toasty for the ride home. Should be dry, a few clouds around. And then as we move ahead, 86 for tomorrow and 89 on Friday. That's the calendar start to autumn. The weekend, 90 and 90 on Saturday and Sunday. Monday, 91. And we're still hot on Tuesday before we finally start to cool down a bit on Wednesday as a storm system moves in, and that'll bring us some scattered showers with that.
All right, we finally leave you tonight with some stunning pictures from space.
NASA releasing pictures of the northern lights over Canada. Experts say the lights are much stronger and brighter this year because of a series of solar flares that are really messing with the Earth's magnetic field. It's what helps create that glow along with gases in the atmosphere. Pretty cool sight right there, the northern lights over Canada.
Pretty neat stuff. We'll see you over on Eyewitness News at 11 in just a couple of minutes.
We'll see you.
Introducing Wendy's new giant